Hey everybody, welcome to Battle Reports. I'm going to be doing a couple tournament battle reports for you. I went to a Steamroller tournament a couple weeks ago, and I'm finally getting around to getting the battle reports out for them. Because it was a Steamroller, I was only able to take photos and not video, but hopefully you guys like this format, and let me know what you think about it. So, this time was going to be my first time running Sloan in a tournament setting, and I was testing out a list with her that comes with the Stormwall, the 2 Hunters, and the Defender for her battle group. Of course, Reinholdt, because Reinholdt is cool. Alten Ashley to prevent any healing, and then just to clear out some chaff, deal with some infantry guys. I've got a min unit of Tempest Blazers and Harlan Versh, the illuminated one. So, this list was really fun to play, and I enjoyed playing it. I haven't locked down on a list yet, but let's get into this battle report. My opponent here is running Maddox, the new battle box for Cygnar's Major Maddox. He enjoys her. He's running that with that full unit of Storm Lances up there, full unit of Stormguard, min unit of Trenchers, and then a Stormclad, a Firefly, and then the Thunderhead. So we'll get into this real quick. I won the roll to go first and decided to go first. My buddy gave me the side with, I think he basically just stayed on the side he wanted to stay on because they're pretty even. And this was my deployment with the Stormwall off onto my right, doing the take and hold scenario. The goal from the get-go here was I knew I was going to have a problem with the amount of infantry he has, so I knew I wasn't going to get an awful lot of shots into high-value targets pretty early if he kept his jacks back. So because he was able to deploy against me, he sent his Storm Lances up against my Tempest Blazers, and that's not going to be too great for me because he is going to have her spell Dauntless Resolve up on the Blazer, or up on his Lances, making them armor 20 with tough. It's going to be a little difficult to get rid of, but we'll see how this goes. So my first turn, I go ahead and run on up into position. You see up onto the left, I got one of my Blazers up onto that small hill, and the other ones I try to keep out of the charge range of his cav on his side. I would not be able to keep him out of his assault range because he can just put snipe on them and then they can assault even further. But defense 14 against their rat 5s, and then defense 16 for the guy that's up on the hill. I wasn't too concerned about them getting shot off by the Stormlance's electro shots, but we'll see how that goes. I moved my defender up centrally so that he can start taking shots next turn. Attempted to shoot down some of the trenchers, but unfortunately I was only able to get one of them. They started the game dug in, so that happens. It's hard to hit defense 18. Ran the Stormwall up into position so he can be there next turn, and then you can barely see one of my hunters. They're both underneath the Stormwall, essentially hiding in the forest with Alten Ashley in there. Harlan Versh ran over to that wall. So he goes ahead and he's got Dauntless Resolve up onto his Storm Lances. He puts Snipe onto the Trenchers and runs forward with his Stormguard. The Trenchers just did a cautious advance, so they were able to dig in and get a couple shots and did a big CRA into a couple of my guys. Did a couple points of damage to my Hunters, but not too bad. And then all the Lances attempted to assault my Tempest Blazers, but they all missed. I think 3 of them were able to get shots onto them. And then nothing else was in range, and that's about it. So, moving on to my turn 2. I was able to take out 3 of his Storm Lances with Harlan Versh, and I think the Defender put a gunshot into one of them. Stormwall put a couple shots into the Stormclad, and then laid down some covering fire into the trenchers so that they would have to move and so that the Stormguard couldn't charge him. I didn't want Maddox popping her feet and charging my Stormwall with power 15 Stormguard. That would just be pretty devastating for me since there is no arcane shield on the Stormwall this game. My Hunters just took a couple shots into the trenchers so that they could start clearing off some of them trenchers. And then I believe I want to say that Sloan also shot a couple of the trenchers as well. Alright, so no scoring on this turn, and on to bottom of turn 2. you'll see the Stormguard there. They all ran, and they were able to run to get into position for next turn. The real downside to my list currently is because all of my Tempest Blazers were tied up on the left. His Stormguard and Trenchers, I have nothing to clear out the chaff. So I'll have to use high value gunshots to clear out chaff, which is disappointing. But he was able to kill off, I believe, one of my Blazers, or potentially, I think he killed off two of my Blazers, leaving one of them. And he was unable to kill Harlan Versh, thankfully, and didn't get an awful lot of work done on his turn. He moved into position, and I think he put a sail up onto the Stormclad. I want to say he put a sail onto the Stormclad. Alright, so on my turn, you'll see my feet turn going down. This is top of 3. I was able to kill off a bunch of the Stormguard, leaving him with, looks like 6 Stormguard there. All but one of the Trenchers died, except for the command attachment and the sniper, who you cannot see because of Stormwall's head. And then the other one, Tuft. You see in the middle of the board on his side, the Stormclad is no longer there. He fell to a couple gunshots from the Defender, Sloan, and the Stormwall. Put a couple shots into the Firefly as well, and unfortunately was unable to take out any of its systems. And then the Tempest Blazer moved up and killed one of the 2 remaining Storm Lances, and then tied up the other one so that if he wanted to charge away, he'd have to take a power 10 brutal damage. I think he's sitting on like 1 box with that last Storm Lance. This turn I did decide to drop Refuge, so I had it on myself earlier in the game. I decided to drop it, and I probably shouldn't have, but measuring where the table edges were, I didn't have an awful lot of room to move around due to the kill box, otherwise I would have given 2 points to my opponent. So on his turn, you see the Firefly ran around there, managed to get within 5 inches of Kara, and Maddox went ahead and put Snipe up onto the Thunderhead, moved Thunderhead into position, and Thunderhead attempted to shoot down Kara. Thankfully, he missed his first shot, which was a godsend because his second shot left Kara with, I think, 7 boxes, and he missed his neck. Or he does he have 3 shots? He missed 2. He missed 2 of his shots, so he must have missed his first 2 shots. And then he did enough damage to Kara to leave her on 7 boxes through her through her damage reduction overboost. You'll see the 2 trenchers ended up in the 2 trenchers that are still alive ended up into the trench, and so I have to put a disclaimer here. What happened in reality was his 2 trenchers, his command attachment and sniper, did a combined range attack into Kara, and managed to barely hit her and managed to kill her to the point. And then after the game was over, we realized that my opponent realized that the sniper does not have combined range attack. He's the only trencher in the unit that does not have it, so he could not have participated in the attack. And my opponent went ahead and conceded the game to me due to his mental error. It was not intentional on his part, obviously. He's a great opponent, and I played with him a bunch of times, played against him a bunch of times. He just didn't realize it. I didn't realize it because I don't play trenchers. I've never had them before. But he figured that since we couldn't really put the game state back into where it was at due to we had already cleaned off all our models, but we were done so quickly, he felt bad. You see our clock over there, I had 38 minutes left and he had 36 minutes left. He felt bad about taking the game from me, so we were going to go ahead and chalk this up for a victory for me. I, on the other hand, was disappointed in my play because I should not have even had Kara close enough for him to get to me. It was barely within range of the Thunderhead, even with Snipe. Had I kept Refuge up on myself, I could have moved behind the Stormwall, still been inside of the kill box borders, and kept myself completely alive, not having to worry about a mistake on my opponent's part. But that's how things go, and that was this game, guys. Please let me know what you think. If you like these picture videos, I know they're a little bit quicker. I'm going to be trying to put out all 3 of the games from the Steamroller today, and we'll see if I can get all 3 of them out. But thanks, guys. Have a good day. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you later.